here, and as I mentioned, every Wednesday we pull every chick out and do a full health check on all the birds. So monitoring growth, we've had stool samples taken, we know if we need to do anything with them, and as I've mentioned before, it's getting them to that kilo weight. So that's our target. We've got about 3 on board that are at a kilo, so yeah, they're all getting ready to go, which is great.
Can I come in with you? Or?
Sure you can.
Don't rip pants on the fence. We are getting gates.
Yeah, we're getting gates.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll just take him out of the bright light. So a bit like us being woken up in the middle of the night, we're calm until we realise where we are.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Akatea was hatched on the 6th of March. It's quite a quick check of them, and basically I'm feeling their tummy to make sure that they've got a full tummy, which he has. So a nice full round tummy. He's got a little layer across his backbone, so no backbone. He does actually have a backbone, it's just one of the signs we use. Checking those big feet, it's really important that they are doing all that they should, looking for any swelling or anything that's not working in the hocks, and just really making sure that he can cover his ground well and in preparation for him to leave. If we miss anything with legs and feet, you know, it's these guys that have got to do the hard work in the forest from now on, so we have to just make sure that he is.
Oh, there's you.
My lip gloss, I'm glad that is what that was. Yeah, Miriam will check his face because they get wriggly about now.
So just check his eyes and his ears, check on top of his bill for there's no scratches or injuries, and same as underneath. And then we just poke open his mouth just to make sure there's nothing stuck in there, like this huge feather there. And then just make sure that the colouring's all right, so you guys might be able to see in there. Oh yeah, it's got a little tongue. So it's nice and pink, not red or any weird marks or scratches, and that dirt up there you see is quite normal. Yeah. There's them probing around and stuff like that.
Yep. Here's his little wing. So they've got that tiny wee wing.
Yeah.
That's got a little claw just like a cat on the very end of it. So that's why they're going nowhere. Here's what we call a feather track, and if they've got any mites or anything like that, that's exactly where we can see it, just that bare patch of skin.
Wow.
Oopsie, I'm leaning on that. I'm going to look like I've probably wet my pants or something. Yeah, so no mites and in nice condition. Yeah. So Dave will now get in. Volunteering will get you everywhere.
Very expensive volunteer.
Don't give them away.
Oh yeah, and of course we weigh them. So on the scales for you, he's also starting to moult. So by the time they've gone through, we're sure they would have done their first molt. So they'll go out there with a bundle full of new feathers. They won't get cold. They've got really dense, beautiful feathers. We're just noticing with the littler ones here at the moment, just an energy change with them because the weather's just got a little bit colder, so their weights aren't quite as high as we would like them to be. So we monitor that food consumption. A lot of them in the early stages were capped because they got so much food out of the ground here at West Shore. It's been phenomenal. So we've saved a little bit on food bills, which has been good.
You don't, because there's been a drought around here, you don't find the ground too hard for them to sort of get the...
Yeah, and it's a really good question because it was one of my worrying things, but this grass, we've kind of created this matting here just by trimming, letting it grow, and what it's created is like a real web and matting, and the birds thought it was an earthquake. all care and no responsibility. is that it's created a really webbed sort of surface, and the birds, we watch them on camera, and honestly they are getting crazy amounts of live food out of here. We find legs inside their mouths,
Cockroaches.
Oh.
insects, tumanako, we'd find lots of bits in his bowl that he'd crashed legs off, and oh yeah, it's been amazing watching them grow on mostly wild food, and you wouldn't think it.
No.
If someone had told me that, I wouldn't have believed it in 100 years.
Do you reckon that's going to increase their rates of survival in the wild because they're kind of used to foraging, or is it just so innate?
It's so innate.
Yeah.
It's a male. Like this is a male.
Yeah.
So how much did, I didn't see the scale, how much did this one weigh?
Oh, he did 871 grams.
So he's not ready at the weight yet.
So for
Yeah.
winter, like we're just noticing because they're sort of slowing down, their weight increases each week. We'll probably wait until he's like at least like 970 to put him into a 2-week quarantine. So then we're like guaranteed that he's going to be over that kilo mark
Yeah.
before he gets out there.
Yeah. So the quarantine is just to make sure there's nothing coming out of the creation to the wild. Is that why they're doing
Yeah, and that they're clear and they're
Yeah.
clean health. Yeah, so like for flightless, like he's had 3 stools and they've all come back clear. Apart from this octosporella, but it's something that is a bit new and that we've found that it doesn't actually affect the birds. It's to do with
Octosporella is coming. It's seen in areas where there's seabirds and reptiles.
yeah.
So it's been quite a new thing for me to deal with because it's something I've never seen.